So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-981-8940.
Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-981-8940.
TennCare's new diaper benefit helps our youngest members and their families stay healthy and happy. If your child is younger than 2 and has TennCare or Cover Kids, they can get up to 100 diapers every month at no cost. To get diapers, visit a participating pharmacy. You don't need a prescription. Just show your child's pharmacy card at the counter. For newborns without a card, you can use the parent's pharmacy card. The pharmacy staff will check to see if you qualify and help you get up to 100 diapers for a month. TennCare will cover a variety of diaper brands and sizes to meet your child's needs. You can find a list of covered brands on the TennCare diaper webpage.
Diapers are available at Mike's Pharmacy, located at 740 Main Street in Tracy City. That's Mike's Pharmacy, 592-9190.
Piggly Wiggly, a supermarket chain since 1916, operates more than 600 locally owned stores, including the Monteagle location that now stocks the largest selection of fine wine, domestic and import beer in the area. Piggly Wiggly's farm fresh fruit is a sweet deal at everyday low prices. Piggly Wiggly stocks carefully selected, always fresh vegetables from the common to the unusual. All of the organic products we sell meet strict USDA guidelines. The Pig has a large meat department that to this date custom cuts and wraps its pork, chicken, and certified Angus beef to your request. Certified Angus beef brand is a cut above USDA Prime Choice and Select. With a large dairy selection of fresh milk and cheese products and your favorite drink products, you will never go home thirsty from the Pig. Visit the Piggly Wiggly Deli and put in your order for an outstanding selection of cheeses, salads, and deli meat products from Boar's Head brand and more. Be sure to check out our weekly special circular for great deals. That's the Piggly Wiggly of Monteagle, Tennessee.
Morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Mayor Brady is usually here on Wednesdays to talk about the weekly update. Done it for 5 years, but it's election season. And so that has to be curtailed until after election season is over because, you have to do equal time. But luckily, Margaret Thomas, school board member for District 3.
Hello, good morning.
Has already just been elected.
Yes.
So she is not running for election, and therefore she just wanted to say a few things for election, or for everything. So,
Well, concerning the school system.
Yeah.
So I guess what got this in my mind that I wanted to come on here is on May 31st, when our school board voted to not give our teachers the bonus that was free money to them, Nelda and I looked at each other and said, in a clear conscience, I just can't accept any more school board pay because it just doesn't seem right. So at that time, we both informed our financial office that we didn't want that, and I directed that mine be sent to Tracy City Elementary Beta Club, and she was wanting to send hers to another Beta Club. And all this time, I have thought that was what was going on. I don't believe that when you gift something to somebody that you tell everybody about it. It's not about getting the glory or anything like that. You're supposed to do stuff like that, and you just don't tout it. But the reason I decided to tell people about it is at the last board meeting, I found out that Tracy had not been getting my check because legally our finance people can't just do that. that money for me was sitting in a pot. So I said, okay, then put it all together, everything that I have earned as a school board member since that vote on the bonus. And I'll make a donation after the December meeting, and then I'll make another donation at the end of the fiscal school year. So that was my plan. And when my check came in, they could not just take that check directly. I had to go write them a personal one, which is what I did yesterday. And this is what happened to me. As I was writing that check out, I looked at it and it was $2,023.46. And I looked at that and I went, we have received since May what those poor teachers did not get. And it just infuriated me. So I started looking at it, and for most of the time when I was a school board member, the first 4 years, we got like $65 for a school board meeting. But then it was changed, and so when I came back in, we now receive $175 for each workshop, $175 for each special called meeting, and $350 for each board meeting. That's a lot of money. And what bothered me about that is in receiving that $2,023, I can see absolutely nothing that we, as this new school board, have accomplished. I can look around our county and I can see so many wonderful things that have been taken care of. I can look at every school in our district and know that they have been treated equally. I can see improvements that have been made, hiring decisions that have been made that had helped us use the money that we saved. I know it's still a sore spot that we closed Palmer and Colmont, and for that I am very sorry. But it honestly has given us the money that we've been able to do a lot of things on the school board. And you have people on Facebook are going to say, oh, that's a lie. They hadn't done anything. All that money all these people have gotten has come from the state. That's not true. The money that all of our people have received in bonuses, not bonuses, in salary, has come from us. It's come from the school board, the prior school board, who had faith in Dr. Durley and put him in, basically hired a man to do a job, and then we left him alone. And he has done a wonderful job. Not only has he taken on that hat as director, but in his estimation, he felt like he could save the county money by also taking on the maintenance job. Now, we've had maintenance supervisors in the past, and I want you to look around at the state of our schools, and I want you to ask yourself, what did they do? What did they accomplish? And truthfully, we didn't have a whole lot of money for them to do anything with. But in closing those two schools, we've been able to do things at other schools. Now, we did have ESSER funding that helped us put on roofs and things like that, but an awful lot of the things that have occurred at the schools and with employees have come through his stewardship. I was talking to our lawyer before I even came on here, and I said, look, this is what I want to say to the public. And will I get myself in trouble? Because everybody knows that I am impulsive. I care about things tremendously. The reason I ran for board member is I truly felt like I wanted to help make a change. And I feel like that I was a member of a board that accomplished that. But I'm also here to tell you that since September, I don't think we have accomplished anything but run up a whole lot of money to pay board members. And that's sad. All we have done is bicker and infight and watch as a select few have done their darndest to try to get rid of Dr. Durley. And that's evident if you would just come to the meetings and watch what all is going on rather than taking your story about how things really are from Facebook. You would find out what's been going on. I mean, we have several positions that are going to open up on the board. And I want to urge anybody out there that wants to run for the right reason. You know, don't run because you think that you have an agenda, you agree with some others, and this man needs to go. Run for the right reason, that you want to see changes continue to happen in our system. We are coming up when you look at test scores. Never in our history have we actually seen the emphasis put on raising test scores. But all of a sudden, everybody wants to know, well, why not? Why isn't this better? Why isn't that better? Well, there's a lot of factors behind that. And as a teacher, this was the way I always looked at things. I will take 1/3 of the responsibility for your child, for teaching your child. But the parent has to take 1/3. If that parent is not seeing that that child is up, not seeing that that child is dressed for the weather, not seeing that that child is tucked in at a decent hour at night instead of being on some video game half the night, if that parent is not seeing that the homework, and for young children, if you're a parent and you aren't reading to your child, or as it's learning how to read, if you're not listening to it struggle through. I have a grandson. My daughter said, Mama, you've got to help this kid. And so I did. And then years later, I told him, I said, oh, honey, that was so painful watching you do that, watching you try to learn how to read. But it takes all of us. And then the other third has to come from that child itself. Because if your child's not invested in trying to learn what's going on, how can you expect a teacher to drill that into them? How can you expect a teacher to do all the mothering and the raising of your child when she has her own children at home that she's got to raise? I'll guarantee she does not go home at the end of the day and forget your child. So find some people to elect next time who value your values. You know, you want people in these offices who are going to do the best with what we have. And this is one of my favorite things. My son is a doctor. And by HIPAA, he never tells us if he sees anybody from up here or anything like that. But he did share one time that he had a patient. He's a surgeon. And he had a patient who worked in the State Department of Education. And as they were going through that get-to-know basis, and she wanted to know where he was from, and he told her, and she said, Grundy County. And he said, yes, ma'am. And this has been probably 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that. But she said, you know, Grundy County has done more with the little that it has than any place that I know of, and has raised children and that have turned out to do something and that they should be proud of. And I don't ever forget that, because it doesn't matter what we have, we try to use it the best way we can. And people are always wanting to know, well, how come you didn't do something with this school? And how come you didn't do something? Why has it gotten in this shape? Well, it got into this shape because we don't have tax dollars. We don't have businesses here that contribute like our surrounding counties do. We have a certain amount of money that comes in, and, you know, Palmer should have been fixed 50 years ago, and so should Colmont. There's a walkthrough today that some school board members are doing. I'm not going because I already have lungs that are have on their own complications. So I'm not going in a building that I deem unhealthy and, try to breathe through that. But I'm satisfied they'll have some people there today that will make videos, and they're going to see the cosmetic things, because we spent $3.2 million, paid it off. It started in 2012 and it was paid off at the end of May, I think, last year. And for all of that, we got 2 new wings added to the ends of the school, and we got the front made into a beautiful building. But nothing was done or contemplated or planned for the older structure right there, the 1948 structure. And that's where our problems are. When we closed Palmer, and then we were given pictures of all the things in Colmont, to suggest that it had the same problems that Palmer had, and if we closed Palmer, we ought to close Colmont. We actually hired a group, and they're called Upland Design Group. And I can't remember what we paid them, somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000, to come in and do an assessment on all of our schools. And in that, there's a section just for Colmont, and it goes through item by item on why it was not safe for our children. And, you cannot look at that and think, yes, there's problems with asbestos, there's problems with iron plumbing underneath that's leaking, and all the kinds of things. So in that walkthrough today, they're going to see the pretty things that are still inside the building. They're going to see that beautiful auditorium, and what a waste it is that we're not using that. Palmer's was equally as beautiful. The problem with it is it was sitting on top of where preschool kids and kindergarten kids were, and the wall was coming unattached from the rest of the building. So at any time, that area itself could fall down on those children. So not only, that's just one of the things that was wrong, but you, as a board member, you have to look at things like that, and you have to say, this is not safe. This is not safe for children. And so I urge all those people that show up today for the walkthrough at Colmont, get yourself underneath the building and go look at the things that are down there that warranted a professional group to urge the school board not to use that as a school building. I did make a statement in one of our board meetings, and it went rampant on Facebook, because I said that Colmont could never be used as a school again. And I'll tell you where I got that. I was talking with one of the people that was on the tourism, and they were all interested in using that building, and they were telling me ways and things that could be done. And in that conversation, it was shared that they had shown this information to 2 different engineers or architects. And both of them had said, oh, that can't be used as a school again, but you could use it for other purposes. And so that's where that statement came from. What this tells us is that in order to use that as a school again, there's a certain amount of money, and I believe it was 17 or 18 million at the time, that we would have to spend on that building. We'd have to take down all of the central part, get underneath where all the foundational parts are, and then we could rebuild and use that as a school. So as it's set up right now, no, it's not a good viable effort. But when you talk about a middle school, you think, okay, is that a property that we could use? And then you automatically have board members say, but you said this could never be used as a school again. Well, yeah, I said that. But there's a reason I said that. And there's also a reason that it can be, because Upland Design, at the time that this was published, which was 2022, it says, yeah, if you want to continue using this, you need to spend X amount of dollars to bring it up to code and to safety, and sure, continue to use it. Well, there's no way that we could do that at that point, so we had to close it and get the kids moved to other places and then decide what to do with it. So now there's a huge push. Let's give this building to the city of Colmont. We've done that in most instances. Altamont went to Altamont, you know how it goes. Palmer, I think, went to the county to be utilized. Tracy City High School, Grundy County High School, went to Tracy City, and with somebody who has a vision like Emily Parton did, and other people who have monies that they wanted to donate toward that cause, Tracy City or Grundy County High School has been refurbished an awful lot and has become a valuable asset. Colmont could be the same. And we have a lot of people who have children that are reaching that middle school age. Now, I'm going to go on record and say we need the middle school concept for our kids the worst of anybody around. If we could take our 6th, 7th, and 8th and put them somewhere, and we could have all of them taught by the teachers in our county whose scores are always resoundingly at the top, do you understand how much better off our students would be? Do you understand that we would be putting every child in this county on the same playing field? And there would be no catch up when you try to combine the schools that we have all together with varying levels of where they are in math and other subject areas. It's an impossible job to think that our test scores are going to go through the roof, because they're not. So to me, a middle school is a valuable thing educationally wise. All the time that I was teaching, and I taught for 30 years in this school system and raised 3 children in this school system. And I'm very proud of this school system. But all the times through those years that middle school was mentioned, it was all for sports. We wanted a feeder program for sports. Well, I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in seeing what my 3 kids were going to get out of this. And nothing was mentioned that was going to make their education any better. So you look at it now, and you have parents that are seeing the value of a middle school. So we have given Dr. Durley a directive to reach out to the Upland group and find out if we built, a central office across from the high school right now, because it's falling asunder. But there's other options for that. There is the Department of Health that we could use as a central office. That's not the main important thing, but getting those employees out of that building before OSHA comes in and shuts us down. And by the way, when I ran for school board, I didn't just run because I knew what education was about from a teacher's perspective. I was also a business owner. My husband and I owned what was Highland CB down on the corner down there. And I was well familiar with OSHA coming through. And if they didn't like the way something was done, I had to fix it. So imagine they would have a field day with our central office. And those employees and their safety is important as well. But back to a middle school. Personally, I don't want to see us go into debt to build a standalone middle school. From the state, we get the records and everything, and our enrollment is going to continue to decline. But we've been holding our own for the last couple of years, So we've had a lot of people since COVID who have left for homeschooling, or maybe they just didn't like the system or whatever, but a lot of our people have gone for that. We have a lot that attend Faith Academy out at Grootley. And So there's reasons, partial reasons for our enrollment to decline. But the middle school is important. And for everybody out there who has a child that's at that age level, you don't need to be getting your information from Facebook. And, well, they say they're going to do this, and they say they're going to do that, because it's not accurate. There are things out there that are being put on Facebook that are nothing but lies and detrimental to people's characters. I'll get into that in a minute because I have digressed from my beginning statement.
You can do whatever you want to, Margaret.
Well, I mean, I just feel like this is such an important amount of information. I want people to understand where we are and how we got there. Dr. Durley, I've talked with our attorney, our school board attorney, and I said, look, these are the things that I really want to say to people. And he said, you have some very good talking points, and there's no reason why you can't say that, because you are going on the air as Margaret Thomas herself. I do not represent the Grundy County School Board sitting right here. I represent Margaret Thomas. And what I'm telling you is coming from my heart and from what I have seen and from the things that are going on. I can say without a doubt, when I go back up here to this $2,023.46, what hit me in the face yesterday is all of our school board members, with the exception of the 2 new ones and those who left the board, have received that same amount. Do you realize that is more since May than our teachers' free money would have been? The state was going to give them $2,000 free, and our school board turned it down, slapped them in the face, because mainly they didn't want to see Dr. Durley get 1 more cent. So we come to Thursday night, tomorrow night. On the agenda is the director's extension of contract. By law, we're supposed to go over his contract every January, since that's when he was hired. And this is a board that can't even come together to decide how to evaluate him. We're supposed to have done that months ago, but we can't even agree what kind of document we would use, what things we would look at. We have spent months, and the only thing that we have truly accomplished is we have come up with a 5-year plan, and it would be nice to see the man who's supposed to do that stay in office. So here's the thing that I totally understand, but it gets under my skin. For you, the everyday person out there who's going about doing your job, getting groceries, cooking supper, looking after the kids, going to ball games, everyday life, washing clothes, driving to work, whatever you're doing, you're not really concentrating on the school board. You're thinking somebody else is there, somebody else has that job, somebody else is looking after my child and my child's future. But right now, that's not the case. So the director has asked, well, he didn't ask. I guess some of us asked that his contract be extended by 2 years. Now, the big play right now out on Facebook is, there's stories out there. This is not true. That's not factual. Iva Michelle herself put an article on there. And according to what the contract really is, because we gave him an extension or so, his contract is over in 2028. Now, you can sit back at home and you know that you're going to your job every day. And you know that so long as you want to be a nurse, that job's there. So long as you want to work at wherever you are, that job's there, unless you yourself decide you want to go somewhere else. You have job security. It's not that way with the director of schools, because he's at the whimsy every 4 years of whoever comes into office and what they want to do. So our director has done the job of maintenance as well for quite a while. He has taken this book and he's looked at every school and he's made his own maintenance plan. He's got spreadsheets of all the things at different schools that need to be fixed. And he's working on that. He is attacking that one after the other. One of the things the lawyer said to me yesterday is, because I told him, I said, the problem that everyday people have is they don't see the need. They're in Grundy County. They know our past history. And they have been burned time and time again when the school board has bought out a director. At one time, we were paying off 3 directors at the same time. And that's ludicrous. But that's exactly what you can get back into if you don't elect the right people this next go round. You can find yourself buying out a director. And here's another point I want to make. All of the things that you have seen accomplished were planned for by the previous board. We basically hired a director. We told him that was his job because as a school board member, we only have 3 things we are responsible for. And if we go beyond those, we're overstepping our limits. We are to look after the budget in the county and have input into how that is. Each department out at the central office makes their own budget. They bring it all together, and Dr. Durley and Jennifer put it all together in one major budget. And at each time that we're having a board meeting, we're discussing different parts of that and asking questions about that. And then it's all compiled, and we vote on it, and then it's turned into the county commissioners. I'd like to invite the county commissioners to our meeting tomorrow night because every single one of them has expressed in the last 2 years how immensely proud of our director they were, how competent they felt our director was, and how we've had the best budgets than we've ever had under this director. And the comment that my lawyer said, you have to look at your fund balance. And when you came in, what was it? And I said, honestly, nobody had a clue what the fund balance was. There was no way to look at the books that were there and go, oh, we have $2,734.23 or however. It wasn't clear like that. But because you have a director and a finance officer in Jennifer that have trained, Jennifer's gotten award after award for seeking out training in this area. And by having her, we have a godsend. But they have gone over every detail of our budget, and they have looked at ways that they could consolidate and that they could help save money, and that way they'd be able to pay our employees better or do a particular job or something that needed to be done at some other school. Because whatever question you ask them, if you ask it of any one of the central office people sitting right there, you find they know their business. It doesn't matter whether you ask Kelly Lusk a question. She's a new hire. She's Phyllis Lusk's daughter-in-law. And that caused a big stink. And that's just so sad because at the same time, Lori Stiefel, I think her last name's Franklin, was hired at the same time. Well, in our policy, the director's supposed to let us know if he's hired somebody. Well, you know, his job is to interview people and hire people and put them in their places. And so that's what he did. And when all that came out is the board wasn't notified by policy. And we were supposed to have been told, well, hello, you know, we get at every meeting an HR report of who's been hired, who's moved, and other, you know, things, people we need to welcome or whatever like that. So we're notified that way, but we don't get an upfront phone call, hey, I'm about to hire this person. But I'll have to say, in watching Kelly in every board meeting that we have had, she has been right there with every answer that was needed. I know that she came from a job. She told me she was earning $133,000 when she retired. I don't know what she's being paid at the central office, but it ain't nowhere near something like that. But, you know, nitpicking is what I'm getting at. Anything since September that can be stirred up or turned over, that's all we have accomplished is infighting and fussing. There have been no major movements toward anything to help anything in our school system. It's all been tied by a little knot that truly want to get rid of your director. Now, who they're going to put in, I don't know. I mean, here, I'm going to start a rumor right here. I mean, this is how it's done on Facebook.
You're killing me, Miss Margaret. Okay.
On Facebook, somebody gets a wild hair and they throw out there something, and man, it is the gospel right after that. Nobody fact checks, but let's say somebody who's going to run for school board has it in their head they're going to be the next director. You heard it from me. It's a lie, but you heard it from me, and that's how rumors get started. Let's start another one. Let's talk about Colmont School. Now, there are one or two who would like to see Colmont turned into a middle school. I think that's a grand idea. We are very limited on the amount of land around that school. But if you look at this book from Upland Design Group, who are professionals, and they told us exactly what needed to be done. At that point, it was like $18 million. That's been since 2022. So you know things have gone up in cost. But we could conceivably turn Colmont School into a middle school. Problem solved. We could also take an end of the high school, use that and utilize it. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, no, you cannot put these children up there with those high school kids. Yes, you can. It's been done in other areas. And what I would like for us to do is to have some town meetings. And all of you who are truly interested in a middle school setup, we need to invite professionals from other districts, like Signal Mountain has the same thing going on in their high school. South Pittsburgh has the same thing going on in its high school. And then have some other people who have, Jasper just built a brand new middle school facility, hit them somewhere around $45 to $50 million. I don't want to see us do that, but I want to see parents have an input into what we do, how we set it up so that your child is educated. You cannot tell me if South Pittsburgh can set up a middle school in their high school and keep those students safe and secure from the big guys, that we couldn't do it as well. You probably would have to add on some. You'd have to add on another gym and things like that. But it's certainly an option to look at that. You can close off one whole wing of that school because we don't have the student number up there to totally fill it up like it used to. Is about 800 students. It's nowhere near that now. So you're not utilizing your facility. But again, because I have suggested that on here, there'll be others on there going, this is wrong. It ain't going to happen. People want a middle school, but they ain't wanting it up here. They just don't want it up here. It's not going to happen up here at this high school. Well, that needs to be for you parents to decide. You all need to come together, and mainly you need to quit watching Facebook and believing everything that somebody puts out there. And you need to start coming to some meetings, and you need to form a group of active parents involved in a middle school idea. And we need to try to meet and come together for some common grounds and work out this problem, because educationally, you're not going to see this county improve until all of our children have the same teachers who have really great scores work with all of our students. That's number one. You're not going to see education improve until we are able to give all of our children a middle school type existence somehow, somewhere. Number two, why should we look at giving our director another 2-year extension tomorrow night? Why not? All the man is asking for is the right to be able to go on and do his job. Now, there's been a whole lot thrown out there about his contract. And I may be repeating what I said earlier, but that's how my mind works. I haven't slept in like 4 or 5 nights because this stuff keeps going on in my head. How ridiculous it is that we don't want to show that kind of support to a man who has done so much with his people. I mean, it takes direction. It takes a vision. And it takes somebody who's willing to pull people together that can get those jobs done. And we have that. We have not had that in the past.
You take whatever you need to do.
Well, the main reason that I ran for school board member, having been a teacher, having watched the frivolous waste of money. And I mean, when you pay a football coach $80,000 for 3 years and 3 wins, that is a frivolous waste of money. But there were so many other ways that money was being spent, and it was never, ever going to our teachers, never, ever going to a bus driver, never, ever appreciating a custodian who looks after our school. You know, those people were being overlooked. So the reason that I ran is knowing education. I wanted to see things improve for our people. I wanted to see our teachers paid better. I wanted to see all other employees in our county paid better. My motto has always been, if you pay one, you pay them all. And we've tried to do that. And whether you want to believe it or not, it took closing 2 schools to be able to have the funds to do those kinds of things. You could not keep operating as many schools as we had and maintain the upkeep on all of them. We weren't maintaining the upkeep on them when we had that many. That's why they were in such sad disrepair. We did not have the money coming in from tax dollars and a good, firm, solid base in order to fund that. So whether we totally loved those schools, I started teaching at Colmont. I met my husband at Colmont. I spent 8 years at Colmont, and I loved it. I absolutely enjoyed my time there. I met some wonderful people. I had some wonderful kids. We did a Tom Thumb wedding with our kindergartners. We did a womanless wedding with CeeLo Campbell and a bunch of people. I have fond memories of Colmont. But for it to be right now, had it been kept up, it would still be open. Had the pictures, honestly, not come out about Colmont, we wouldn't have known there was a problem there, and Colmont would still be open today. I mean, that's just facts. Look at it. Until those pictures were brought to us and said, look, this place has got the same problems as Palmer, you ought to close it down. So what do you do when you are told, look, this building has problems, it has health problems? You have to do something. It's a hard decision, but it's one that had to be made. And boy, did Did it make people angry? Yeah. It made people furious at us. And, I'm sorry that you got so angry. I'm sorry that a school that I started teaching in um, can't be used like that again. I have many fond memories of that. There was a fire built underneath my classroom when some high school kids were laying out. And it was a cold day, and so they just built them a little fire underneath it. And they were going to stay warm. And when smoke started coming up through the bathrooms and things like that, we had to find out what was going on. And it turned out they had to pull some children out from under the building. So, everybody's got funny stories like that. I know one teacher back in the day when paddling was allowed, and she was paddling. It was a day and time when it wasn't odd to have a 16-year-old in a fourth grade classroom or whatever. Anyway, as this teacher paddled that child, he had a book of matches in his pocket and it set him on fire. So, there's just some fond memories about that school and the people who worked there. But I would close it again, given what I know from professionals who went through, in, over, under, and outside that building. So keep in mind when you see all the videos today about what a wonderful place Colmont is and how it can still be used, it can be. But somebody's going to have to pay money to do that. And people who are walking through today, you need to, don't just walk, get under, dig in. I'm not going because I know what's in here. But there'll be some others out there, and they'll be on Facebook Live at 7, probably spouting about what wonderful things are going on. And that's one of the things, too, that's a problem. Things are put out on Facebook that are so untrue, that have been detrimental to people. When the director of schools has to sit down with his female employees and look at them and go, have I ever slept with any of y'all? And they look at him and shake their heads, as I'm assuming they must have done. And then has to look at another employee and go, have you and I ever had sex together? Let's just get this out in the open here in front of all of us. And that person with a red face, mortified, no. But those are things that are put out about our director. Not true, but because they're on Facebook, they're the gospel. So that's just so wrong. It's so wrong to do stuff like that to people. I'm going to skip back to where I first started, and it's that $2,023.46 that I gave Beta yesterday. When I first started, and for 4 years, I got $65 for the meeting. I don't know if I got that as well for the workshop. I don't know, because I wasn't doing it for the money. I was doing it because I wanted to try to make things better in our school system. And I can sit here before you and I can tell you that one of the best decisions a former board made was hiring Dr. Clint Durley. He was an outsider. He came in here and he knew nobody. He didn't know any, he had no nephews, nieces, nobody, no brothers, no sisters, nobody that he was going to have to try to give a job to in the family. And all he cared about, being a new director, is doing a good job for a county that had taken him on. Now, he was told by the county commissioner, you'll be lucky if you're here 18 months from now, because we have a history. We get rid of people. We buy them out. And sadly, that was the truth. We have had that history, but that doesn't have to be. In his contract, I think Iva had put out that it was over in 27. In digging deeper, it's over in 28. So some of you are looking at it and you're going, got 2 years. What's the big deal? Let's look at it next year. And the big deal is we have brought a man up here and his wife and her mother. They've bought a place. They have invested in this county. He would just like to know that he has enough support behind him that people want to see him continue the job he's doing. Not asking for more money. He's not asking to be bought out. He's even willing to put up with the silliness of a school board that he knows the majority of them are against him right now today. That's going to change maybe in September. But we may get another group in who say, okay, let's get rid of him. Who knows? But if we have the right people who run, who are truly interested in seeing our children do better and are truly willing to put their voices out there and say, look, I want to be a part of the solution. I don't want to keep being the problem. And what we have right now is a major problem because the director knows he's going to be asked and asked and asked and asked. And people are wanting to get information. There have been lots of emails lately. I need this. I need that. I want to see how much was spent on ESSER. I want to see what this was done. I want to see how much per school you saved. I want to see itemized, blah, 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 blah. Itemize it for me. Well, somebody's got to pay somebody to do that. It's all out there in the records. We have voted on every bit of it. It probably was the former board that voted on all of the ESSER stuff, but everything is out there. And you know, when you satisfy the comptroller's office and they come in and they are very satisfied with the way you're doing things, might have a minor issue, you could change this or you could change that. You could put this in this funding line or that in that funding line. You've accomplished a heck of a lot. So our books will hold up in front of anybody's scrutiny. You can nitpick anything to death, and you could blow anything out of proportion, and you can get people worked up on Facebook to where they believe anything. And that's sad. That is so sad. Use your own brain. Don't listen to somebody else's. Now, we can put off looking at the director's contract till next year, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We won't have him. He has already interviewed with another group, and he let the school board know because this group reached out to him. And so he went for an interview. When you start seeing how things were in September and in the October meeting, there was a huge file thrown down in front of every one of us specifically to get me to shut up. It was a social media policy they wanted to adopt, where basically I couldn't go on Facebook and tell you anything. And everything that I have put on Facebook, I did a whole thing when I was running my 4 years as a school board member, and I told you exactly what happened. But I had documents to support every single thing that I said. And so that obviously took up 2-3 meetings, of conversing about how to shut Margaret up. And so far they haven't found a way because, like I said, I'm not representing the school board right here. I'm telling you what Margaret knows, what Margaret has experienced, and how Margaret feels about things. And I have that right. I can do that. You can, the average layperson is looking at it and thinking, okay, we can wait till one more year and look at his contract then. And by then, there will be enough systems out there, because don't think that what has happened in Grundy County isn't known by other school districts. And don't think that there aren't other districts that would like to coach a good director, because They're out there. He may have to move somewhere else all the way across the state or to other areas, but they're out there, and they will pay far better than what we pay, and possibly have a school board that can recognize they're supposed to let the director do his job, and we're supposed to stay in our lanes. As a school board member, I am supposed to help with the budget. I am supposed to help policy making, and I am supposed to hire a director. But when it comes to anything else, that's not my purview. That's not my job. It's okay for me to ask questions and get a response. But sometimes emails are sent like on Saturday, and because the director or the lawyer hasn't responded, you get a quote on Facebook, I can't get a thing out of them. I won't get any answer. Well, who would on a Sunday? Who's going to answer your questions if they're with their family on Saturday and they're trying to get their mind off the school system and the nitpicky school board they've got, and have a life? So just because you see a post out there, he won't answer my calls. And the truth is, a lot of times he calls them and they won't answer him. So it's very easy to say, oh, he won't talk to me. It's also very easy to not answer your phone, and to put out the notion out there to everybody that I get no response. This is my 5th year. I cannot say that I have ever missed an email from the director, and he keeps us up to date on, if there's an ambulance called so-and-so, we get a text. We don't know who it is. We just know that a faculty member had an ambulance. A child was picked up by an ambulance. So we're informed of things. I don't really need to know that. I mean, if I want to get out and gossip and go, hey, did you know they just picked up somebody from North? Well, I guess that would give me that input, but I don't need to know those things. But I am informed about things like that. But when it comes down to who the director hires, that's his job. That's what we pay him to do. And there's just a lot that has gone on that has taken up time. We've run up dollars on school board meetings and have accomplished nothing. Any big thing that's been taken care of was set up by the former board. I can promise you that. Nothing major has happened with this new school board, except for the notion, let's get rid of Dr. Durley. Did I mention how much we're paid?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to reiterate that. $175 for a workshop. $175 for a call meeting. $350 for the school board meeting. And since May 31st, that's been $2,023.46. Doesn't that seem exorbitant to you for all of the infighting that has gone on? Aren't you ashamed of how we have been acting? Me included, because I will say what I think. A lot of times, if I'm not saying it, my face has it written all over me. And I have honestly had several people pray this morning that I'd be able to do an interview and not name specific names.
It works so far.
So far, I'm doing well.
Thank you.
I guess I did touch on the director and his maintenance supervisor.
Kind of words or anything?
Yeah, there's two things I want to say.
Yes.
When I was talking with the lawyer yesterday, and I may have said this, but if I did, I'm going to reiterate it because I'm now 75 and I repeat myself quite a lot. And, my daughter looks at me and goes, I know, you've told me that, but you all can't do that to me right now. So I'm just going to put it back out there.
I'm not stopping.
Bottom line is out there on the internet, it's okay. The director's got 1.5 years, or he's got 2 years. As our lawyer told me yesterday, he said, Margaret, what was your fund balance when you first came on? And I didn't know, but it was low. It was whatever was mandated, I believe, by the state that we had to keep on hand. And he said, what is it now? And I said, last thing I heard was about $13 or $14 million. And you have to understand, you can't walk out to Tyler McCulloch's office and say, I want to see what the fund balance is, because it fluctuates. We have paid over $3 million in paving roads at Swiss Memorial and Pelham, and some other issues that have been taken care of. So the fund balance comes down. And so if you walk in and you go, this is our fund balance right now, it might not be that tomorrow, because there's still monies coming in from the state. There's still other things that totally affect that. But bottom line is, our fund balance is better and stronger than it has ever been. You ask our county commissioners about that, and they'll let you know we have a good fund balance. And I'm going to tell you, most of that is because we closed 2 schools. We were able to look after ourselves and do things ourselves rather than have to go to the county commissioners and say, look, we need a new air conditioner. Of course, ESSER paid for that, but we need this done at this particular school. We need money from you. We have not done anything that asks our taxpayers for a tax increase. This director has been a steward of the monies that he's looking after. And he pretty much knows where every penny and every line is going. And if he doesn't know it, Jennifer does. So it's not whether you're for waiting until next year to give the director an extension. I believe the silent majority out there appreciates the job that he has done. I believe most people are looking back going, they've done this at this school, they've done this at that school, and things have been accomplished. I think you can see that when you go to our football field and you see brand new bleachers, and you see brand new sound system, and you see brand new lights. And the same is with the gymnasium at the high school. And you go to any of our schools in the gyms and they have heat and air. Those seems like silly little things, but they're major accomplishments if you really look at all the things that are going on. What tomorrow night decides is whether you think the director has done a job and he's worthy of trying to keep. Because voting to extend his contract by 2 years lets him know that everything that he's done thus far has not been in vain, that he is appreciated for trying to look after your money, for trying to spend it wisely, for trying to hire people that will accomplish the jobs they need to do, for trying to work with the school system all over. To extend his contract is to say to him, I support you. I think you've done a good job, and I'd like to see you stay here. To not support him, to not vote for the 2-year extension, says very plainly to him, we might look at you next year. Depending on the board, you might get an extension. But brother, you probably need to start putting feelers out, and you and your wife probably need to pack up and just move on, because that's how important this 2-year extension is. don't look at it like that's 2 more years we'll have to pay somebody if we buy them out. This man doesn't want to be bought out. This man wants to be turned loose to do his job. He has a vision for Grundy County. His heart is here. He's got kids that he absolutely adores. He loves working with the football team. He wants to stay here, and so does Stephanie. You don't see Stephanie very much. Stephanie is a sweetheart, and she puts up with more BS than you would ever have to imagine, because it cannot be easy facing the things that this director has to listen to and bring it, because he brings it home with him. He can't just leave it on the doorstep. And he doesn't talk to her about it. He just holds it inside. And that's not good for him. It's not good for her. But all she wants to do is support the man she loves. And mostly they want to stay here in Grundy. They have a place that they're continuously working on. Ask a board member. We have one who sits and parks outside his, further down his lane, but watches their house. What for? Making sure he's there, He's not at work. He's home. My goodness, he can go home and eat lunch, but maybe he is home. Have you considered the hours that he has been at some school while they've been digging up plumbing, or while they've been in a ditch, and he's been in the ditches with them? If you haven't seen those pictures, you've missed out on something. Tracy City had a $2 million, see, I get started again. Tracy City had a $2 million leak that had not been found. It had been going on since the 1970s. But they stayed with it, and down in the mud, and they dug and they dug and they dug and they dug, and they finally found it. And Bart's expression was, when he looked at the water meter, it's not going around and around, accomplishments aren't always out there and seen by everybody. The fight is real. So I'd like to invite everybody tomorrow night. If you're a parent of a child that you'd like to see something about a middle school, show up just to show that you'd like to keep a director who wants to work for that area. If you're a commissioner and you've been satisfied with the job he's done, I'd like to see you sit in front row. If you're a student that the director has had any impact on whatsoever, I'd love to see you there, and bring your parent. If you're just curious about what's going on, the best place to get your information is to come to a board meeting and to hold all of us accountable for the job we're supposed to do. And when you see somebody that's just thundering on and on and on about let's give Colmont away, let's take a minute and step back and go, wait, is this the best plan for the future? Or is this just going to give somebody, let's start a rumor. Can I start the rumor about? Let's turn it into an OHV place where we can rent it to people down there that need a place to stay. And let's put a restaurant in it and serve them food. Let's do that.
Actually, that would be pretty cool. Can we do that?
Who's to say,
And a place for the kids to do the gym used for the community. So many opportunities.
Lots of opportunities, but let's put a group that's in charge of it, so that the money, why can't we do something like that and let it come back to the school system?
I think everything.
Yeah. I don't know. We can just go.
But we have
all
to
over
talk
the place.
about it as adults, and we have to all come up with the answers, not just hating.
Yeah. Just because you hate somebody and you want to get rid of him. So truly, in my opinion, the vote tomorrow night is a very big one. To extend his contract says, yes, I believe in the job he has done. I believe he has tried to serve this county well. A vote no, let's wait until next year. Says we don't have any confidence in you. We do not want to support your 2-year extension because we think we can do better. Perhaps there's somebody running for the board who wants to be director. That's a good rumor to start right there. That's how things get started. Somebody says something and people pick it up and go with it. But yes or no. So let your board members know. I do support this man. Or heck no, let him go. And we'll see how the vote goes tomorrow night. Because I guarantee you it will come down to one person, maybe two, who will make that decision for your children for the next go-round. One or two will carry it on their shoulders as to whether we keep the director or as to whether the director moves on and finds himself someplace else. Because it takes a while for a director to find another situation. It will take him 2 years to find another spot and to relocate, sell his property and all that stuff. It's not something that you just say, hey, I'm going to quit working here and I'm going to go find another job somewhere else. You don't do that as a director. He's a professional, and as a professional, he should be respected as such. Yes or no, it's up to you.
Ma'am, did we hit everything?
I probably hit more than I meant to, but you know me, I get talking, and
And that's just how it is.
it is how it is. And I promise you, I don't lie. I do my darndest not to lie. I remember lying one time about a piece of bubble gum I stole down at Mr. Jim Francis's grocery store, and I was probably 3. And a pack of juicy fruit that I stole in the 4th grade, and those were hard lessons learned. So,
Got to start early with those lessons.
I'm telling you.
All right. Well, I honestly, I want us. I think we all need to talk. We all need to communicate. I think you did that today, and I feel that that's important in our public for us.
I do too. You know, if this director has impacted your life in any way whatsoever, please show up Thursday night and bring a friend.
All right. Well, we are going to go on a break. I have no idea what time it is. But as far as I'm concerned, if Miss Margaret wants to come on the show, I'm going to allow her all the time.
My watch has stopped. It is now only 25 till 7.
All right, we're going to go thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back. As always,
Thank
thanks for
you,
watching
everybody.
Walking the Mountain.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mircea Basaraba.
And I'm Mara Hutchings, nurse practitioner. Welcome to Southern Tennessee Cardiology. Here at Southern Tennessee Cardiology, we offer a variety of testing done right here in our office. Along with our highly trained and skilled staff, we have the latest technology for cardiac stress testing, high-tech ultrasound, and cardiac monitoring. Whether you are experiencing chest pain, palpitations, or need clearance for surgery, Southern Tennessee Cardiology is here for your cardiac needs.
I'd like to turn your mind to Ephesians chapter 6, the end of this letter of Paul, Ephesians chapter 6. We're going to pick up in about verse 10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm. Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and as shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. In all circumstances take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and supplication. There is a spiritual reality with powers and authorities that are against the Lord, his Spirit, and his Christ. It may be that we see the results of these dark cosmic powers at work in the world even today. But rather than responding in fear or with conspiracy theories or the like, Paul gives us a pretty good idea of how we are to respond with truth and righteousness, peace, being faithful, confident in our salvation, knowing the Word, especially Jesus, the Word, and praying often. Essentially, the way to resist the cosmic forces and powers of darkness is to be faithful. Let us not deny the works and reality of the dark powers and the devil, but also let us respond to them appropriately and not sensationally. May you confront them daily with faith in the Lord. I'm J.D. Cantrell, a member at the Montego Church of Christ, but really I'm just a guy who loves Jesus and wants to follow after him. May you do the same. May you be.
Tracy Clinic, located at 740 Main Street in Tracy City, specializes in family medicine. Nurse practitioner Devin Land Lampley is now seeing patients. Call today for an appointment at 592-4242. Open 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. That's the Tracy Clinic, 592-4242.
Sequatchie Valley Electric Cooperative is here to serve you in your business or in your home. Pay your electric bill in the comfort of your own home with SVEC's new online billing service. Wouldn't it be nice to know in advance how much to budget for your electric bill each month? Visit us at one of our convenient offices or go online to www.svalleyec.com. Sequatchie Valley Electric, providing electrical service to over 33,000 homes and businesses in all or portions of Bledsoe, Grundy, Marion, Sequatchie, Coffee, Hamilton, Ray, and Van Buren counties in Tennessee. SVEC, staying up with today and working for tomorrow.
At the Caverns, you can tour a cool cave, listen to live music underground, or just camp under the stars. It's homegrown fun deep in the Tennessee hills. Check out what's going on at www.thecaverns.com, where the destination becomes the journey. Dr. Eric Scholl of Scholl Chiropractic Clinic is proud to serve our community from his new office at 16 First Street in Monteagle, right across the street from DuBose, offering trusted, effective care for all ages, including spinal decompression, dry needling, infrared therapy, shockwave therapy, and they even have an on-site x-ray. Come see what a difference it makes to feel good again. Call 931-924-4869 to set up your appointment today. Tracy City welcomes Trekside, open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, located right across the street from Roundhouse Park in Tracy City. Come join the crew in saying, who has more fun than us? All right, so Stephen and I did an executive decision, and we're going to skip the housekeeping, and we're going to go straight to the phones, and we don't have anything to stop us short like we did yesterday, so I'm just going to take the phone calls today. So here we go. Morning. Morning. Oh, it may be sooner rather than later, Stephen. They may have not held on for that entire hour. I wasn't going to tell Miss Margaret to stop, so that's just executive privilege. I took a point of privilege. Morning.
How you been?
What's up? What are you doing, Lily? Thanks for holding on.
Oh yeah, I figured nobody would, but I did. So.
Yeah, like I said, she's a retired school teacher. I will give her all grace possible. I'm not telling Miss Margaret anything.
Not one bit.
Not one bit. That's what happens when you get to be an elder. You have executive privilege.
Yeah.
So anyway, anything I need to know today?
Well, it's sun is out a little bit. I think it's kind of cloudy a little bit too.
Well, that fog hung on totally yesterday.
It hold on just today myself just got past. Well, I hope it didn't burn off or whenever it did.
It held.
Around, I don't know, 2:30.
I mean, it barely. Yeah. And it was everywhere really on the mountain.
Yeah, and last night I looked out. It was on the ground too, and I said, "Well,
was it really?
we'll be ready for some snow." Just where some people burn wood and stuff, and when that smoke goes up out of the pipe, it hits the ground.
Yep.
Let us know we might need some snow. And you know what that frog was doing yesterday and last night too. Just the ground.
Well, it's crazy to think that this is January what? What is this? The 6th, 7th. Today's the 7th. It is 60 degrees out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. So snow's around the corner, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I definitely would do something here. I don't know when, but you never know. So.
Well, alls I know is that I'm going to enjoy this nice weather and get stuff done because it's going to get cold.
Yeah. I think Friday, of course, we're being told.
There's a front. Yeah, there's a front somewhere coming in, but yeah. All right, buddy. We went over because of we just did, and so I'm gonna take the calls today. I've got you down. Is there anything that we need to know before I go to the next person?
I don't think so myself, but
Okay.
you do look pretty.
Well, I was not going to. I was not going to be slack in my attire for Miss Margaret.
Yeah. But now you do look pretty this morning.
Well,
and,
thank you. All right, buddy. Well, happy Wednesday, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
And I'll talk to you.
All right, sounds great. Morning.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness, where were you guys at? $3.99? Where were you at?
We're like.
Well, yesterday, when you guys cut out on me and hung up on me, were you? I felt like you were over there at $3.99.
Oh, I was. I thought my phone was hooked up, but then it wasn't really charging, and it was died on me.
Oh, that's funny. I've had that happen before. All right. Well, we had a long segment today, as you can imagine. I've got you. Is Junior with you?
Yeah, buddy, I'm here.
All right. I hear his lovely voice. I've got you both down. Is there anything we need to know today that's just burning on your head?
No, not that I know of. I'm thinking about tomorrow.
All right, let's do it tomorrow. I do not have a guest tomorrow.
Okay. Who was your guest today?
I had Margaret Thomas on the show today.
Oh.
And Margaret had a lot on her mind, and she shared it. And so, school board stuff. We got elections around the corner.
Yeah, we sure have.
And we got a lot of things to think about, and we got a lot of things to talk about. So and she's not running for re-election, so she was allowed to do whatever she wanted.
Right.
And she had consulted the school board attorney, and she was allowed to talk about those topics.
Yeah.
So everybody gets an opinion.
Yeah. We got Shelly. He's not running again.
Who?
Shelly out there.
Yeah, that's going to be a wide open seat right there. And Gail's not running again. And we've got 6 out of the 9 school board members up for election. We've got all 9 county commissioners up for election. And we have all county seats except for property assessor up for election. You can't tell me it's not going to be fun.
Right.
So, I mean, just enjoy, election season. But the beautiful thing is that they, in theory, if they're good, they will be out and about talking to folks. And it's that time when you really need to talk to them.
That's right.
I hope so. Everybody's firming up, everything. I know that last election, I think it was, we and the Grundy County Herald hosted one at the old high school. So we may do that again. I've got to ask Lisa and see what she thinks about that. But now's the time to start talking to the candidates and find out where they're at.
That's right. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, do it. Find them. Now, my only thing, of course, is just to be, kind and gracious, and don't. There's some people can be ugly. I'm not saying it's y'all. You guys are very have very good thought processes and are usually very kind. Except Junior, you got to watch him like a hawk.
I know.
But but that's okay. I mean, that's here, and they need to. Our candidates should be able to know how to speak to people who have opinions.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Because that's the public. We're a brutal bunch, but I think we should be less brutal, and let's talk about issues instead of people.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk tomorrow. Think about something good to talk about. Because I know it's January and we're in the dead season, so we're up for topics this month.
That's right.
All right, kids.
All right.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
All right, see you. Bye. Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, you two crazy kids. How are you?
We're good, just fine, honey.
Was it a good night?
It was.
Not really, mine wasn't.
Oh, Joyce.
Just up and down, honey.
Just up and down. This getting old thing is for the birds.
And you, honey.
You just got to keep on fighting.
Yep.
All right. Well, happy Jan. Anything I need to know today?
Yeah, put Ricky Meeks' family on there. Faye Bivens' son-in-law.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I saw that. Thanks for the reminder, Joyce. That's Ricky's dad, right?
Honey.
Yeah. All right. So Ricky Meeks' family.
That's named Sue.
I'm sorry?
His wife is named Sue.
And his wife is named Sue.
Yeah.
I know Ricky just from golf. Him and Steven were buds when they played golf together. Ricky.
There you go.
His son, right? He used to work at the high school.
No, it's a different one.
You guys are killing me. Are you serious?
Yes. Lived behind, I say, Cotton Ross's church. He lived around to there. Brother Matthew Meeks' church.
Yeah.
They lived around to there.
So it's not our Ricky from golf? It's not our Ricky's dad?
No.
Two names at the same time is killing me. That's what I was thinking about. Well, dang it. Okay. All right, I've got them down. Anything else I need to know? Anybody else? Oh, I know. Deanna Shadrick family. Did you hear that one?
I didn't know it was her, though.
Yeah, it was Deanna. In fact, I think Deanna called here last month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, she did.
She sure did, didn't she?
Yeah, I used to go to school with Dinky. We called her Dinky.
Dinky, that's right. And I was like, I hadn't heard from her in a hot minute. And, yeah, she passed.
Charles Higgins up there. He's from Mount Ollie. He's up there at the funeral home. I think there's 3 or 4 of her.
Wow. Who was it?
Charles Higgins.
Oh my God.
He's from Mount Ollie.
Yeah, he had my great uncle's fiddle. They played together.
Yeah.
And Charles is an amazing musician.
He was married to R.B. Slanton's sister, Dorothy.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah, I used to date one of their sons back in the day. Yeah, it's a long time ago. He was my sound engineer over at Tubby's. Anyway, yes, thank you.
You're welcome, baby.
All right. Yeah, I love those guys. And boy, they made some good blackberry wine.
Tell you, yeah, they did. Crafted me a tree off my apple tree down there and brought it to me one.
Yeah, I used to use their wine in my spaghetti sauce when I had Tubby's.
Okay.
It was so good. It was so good. Well, anyway, yeah, definitely prayers for that family. That's a wonderful family. All right, thanks. Anybody else?
No, as I know right now, them others up there, but I don't know them, I don't reckon.
Okay. Well, if you don't know them, I don't know them.
You might.
All right, you two. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Baby, everybody needs prayer.
Everybody needs prayer.
We thank everybody for the prayers, honey.
Well, it works, and that's the very least we can do. And Charlie, you're just, I'm feeling that you're on this side of it.
Yeah,
I'm trying my best.
He had a good birthday, Yoshi.
Oh, I'm so glad. All right, what was your sweet? Did you get us something sweet? Did you get something lemon?
I got a big chocolate. It's a triple chocolate cake.
Oh, I hate that. It sounds
Some
horrible.
ice and some more little cookies.
Oh.
The neighbor got him out across the road.
Oh. All right, what'd you fix him, Joyce?
He wanted macaroni and tomatoes, so that's what we had.
I love macaroni. My mom loved macaroni and tomatoes. Oh, that's so fun. Well, you just got fixed up, Charlie. Happy birthday. What are you, 25?
Thank you.
Well, are you 25?
Yeah.
And holding.
In my mind, I'm still 25. I don't know what the rest of me says.
It doesn't
That'll never happen again.
I hear you. Well, I'm happy birthday, and it sounds like you had a wonderful one. I'll talk to y'all. Hopefully, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
I hope so, dear.
All right. See you. Bye. Gosh, macaroni and tomatoes. If I could ever carb again, that would be it. Morning.
Morning.
Hey, with Granny. What are you doing?
Talking about food, I think I'm getting ready to eat some more too.
What are you going to have today? Eric made chicken noodle soup last night.
Well, you know, I've been having trouble with my sinuses, and I had Kathy to fix me some noodles
Okay.
with onions in them.
Onions, yes.
And that cleared that out of my throat.
Did it really?
Yes, it did. But anyway, I just wanted to call in, Ivor, and enjoy listening to this morning. I'll get off here and let somebody else get on.
All right, Granny, you have a wonderful day. Happy Wednesday.
You too.
Bye, Granny. See you, bye. Onions, that's right. Remember that where you put onions on the bottom of your foot and you put your sock on overnight and it draws out all the yuckies out of it? You guys remember that remedy? Morning. Morning.
Good morning, sunshine.
Hey, Barbara. What's up, girl?
Oh, no, not a whole lot here.
Did you hear about Deanna? That was so horrible.
Yes, I heard about it.
Anything else we need? Anybody else we need to know? It seems to be all coming.
Well, the Meeks boy was related to Roger through marriage, you know.
I'm sure, Barbara.
Sue's daddy.
Okay.
Roger's first cousin.
Okay.
I hated about that. When I worked home health back in the 90s, I had his mom and his dad both as patients. So.
Oh, how old was he? I can't. I've got to relook at the obituary, but that's very sad.
I think he was like 65. I'm not sure.
That's way too young.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? I figured you're kin through marriage somewhere.
Oh yeah. And mostly Roger's side, but
Roger had 1,000,000 siblings.
Yeah, but there was 13 of them,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't think they left, so they just kept on.
Put my granddaughter on the prayer list.
Yes, ma'am. Which one?
Lachey.
Oh, what's up with Shay?
She had knee surgery yesterday, and I went over and got the baby off to school, and then I went back and fixed the kids' supper so that, you know, they'd have something to eat. And she was in a lot of pain before I left, and I got her situated in the bed and put a wedge up under her leg, and she was talking about when Steph had her knee surgery that she had the home health nurse come out and stuff, and I said, well, you got a home health nurse right here.
Oh, the true story.
All the tricks.
True story.
And so when our foot was swollen, you know, and I said, you're going to have to elevate it. And with that wedge, I got her foot up and everything, and I said, now, does that help with the pain in it? She said, none of that helped a whole lot.
It's the little things. That's the tricks of the trade, isn't it?
It is, and so she needs prayer, you know, we believe in prayer.
Well, and it's a road to recovery for, as you know, for the knee surgery. It's a road. It's a journey.
I mean, hers wasn't major like a total knee, but she'd been having problems, and the doctor told her problems with her back was caused from the knee being offset.
Well, when you have something, when you start favoring a part of your, when you start favoring a part of your body, the other part of the body has to compensate, and then that messes that up.
It throws everything out of whack.
It does. God put our bodies in a certain symmetry, and when something gets off, it just changes things.
Yeah, it does. I tried to call in yesterday, but I was over there, and I was having to do it from, what's from Facebook, and
that gets a little hard. Oh, I was glad. I'm proud that you're just over there doing what you needed to do. Mama, you're a fierce mama.
She told me, she said, Nan, I don't know what I'd do without you. And I said, well, I hope you never have to find out.
That's so right, Barbara. Well, thank you so much for being you, and I appreciate you, and we're going to pray for Shay.
Yes, I do all I can for my kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, The Lord's got me here for a purpose.
He does. He has all of us here. We all have a purpose. We got to figure out what that is.
Sometimes I think I'm sicker than the ones I'm going to help.
Yes, ma'am.
But I managed to get it done, and I got supper cooked and dishes done up and got her situated before I come home.
Oh, that is such a blessing.
I praise the Lord for the strength He gives me.
True story. Well, it matters. I don't know what I would have ever done without my Grandma Nell.
I never had that kind of support, but I guess that's why I want to be that kind of support for my family.
Yeah, because it matters.
It does. And you have a great blessed day.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Barbara. See, bye. All right, I got one more. Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Miss Evelyn. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you. I'm doing quite well. Things just come and go, and as one person said, my favorite verse of Scripture is, it came to pass.
What's that?
It's just part of a verse.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, what's on your mind today?
Well, actually, I hope I'm short and quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wish that we could get politics out of the school system all the way from the top to the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
Manipulation is a great thing.
Yes,
used.
Mm-hmm.
When it's used, manipulation is not really anything that we want to see done. But a lot of things happen because people want to manipulate people, manipulate things, manipulate events to get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what is best for everybody, best for all the students, best for the county, and only God knows everything that's been done like that,
Yeah, absolutely agree. Let's just focus on the kids.
Yes, everybody needs to pray that people would be straightforward in their thinking, in their choices, in the things they do, and just need to work for the best of everything. But like I said, what's on my mind is wishful thinking.
Well, we can start somewhere, and this year is a great opportunity to try it out.
Well, in most of the cases, it would just take an answer to prayer and miracles to happen, I think.
Well, we know that they work, don't we?
God works in answer to prayer, yes, when people gets their heart right, and they're straightforward in their thinking and in their doing, and work ethically for the best and highest standards of principles for things to be done and to be done right. And we can't control everything.
No, let go and let God, seriously. But we can protect the process.
And we need to keep our eyes open and our ears to the ground.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, real quick, what do you think of the middle school concept that's being thrown out there for our kids?
Well, it depends on when they divide the grades.
Okay.
That needs to be looked at psychologically, really.
Mm-hmm.
Said the ninth graders do not need to be put down with the lower students.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
They do not. That's one thing I stand on for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes. All right. Any other thoughts on that? All right, you'd be open for discussion and having the chat about it. Do you think it's a good thing to talk about?
Well, everybody needs to understand the best outcomes for it or of it, and I don't know. It just there's some advantages and some disadvantages.
Okay. Well, that's what we need to talk about then. So you think it's worth discussion?
Well, if people are thinking it and wanting it, it needs to be discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
But as I said, you know, 8th graders. I taught 7th and 8th graders. After for years. And after I got into high school, and they gave me juniors, which I really wasn't supposed to have, but I've had such thankfulness from some of those juniors that it just outlooks me.
Well, did you watch the interview from Frances Arthur on Monday?
No, I haven't got to see that.
All right.
But
I would give it a shot. She's an author, etc., teacher. She taught 5th and 6th graders and for 6 or 7 years in the public school system. Not here, but somewhere else. And she said there's a distinct difference between 5th and 6th graders with hormones, etc.
Well, the first year I taught school, I taught 6th graders, and they were the best students. I was out for 10 years because of family.
Yeah.
And I went back, and the 6th graders were not the same as they were 10 years earlier.
Yeah, it's something with hormones. It changes earlier, I think, and so 6, 7, and 8 are just in that raging hormone puberty time.
Well, you know that they put hormones in the milk, and that caused most of it.
Yes, ma'am. They sure did.
It did. But as I started to say, when I taught juniors, I thought, goodness, I'm going to heaven.
Right. I hear it. Well, good. I'm looking forward to that discussion, and I appreciate your comments today. And let's talk further tomorrow.
And I thought, well, how did I put up with those 7th and 8th graders all those years? How did I do it?
It's a special kind
I finally just said, God carried me on eagle's wings, like He said He did for Israel.
Yeah, amen. All right, Miss Evelyn. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, thanks so much for calling.
Thank you.
All right, see you. Bye. All right, that's it. I don't have any more phone calls. Thanks everyone who called in and having grace. 9:35, not too bad. I don't think I have a guest tomorrow. I'm not even going to look at this point, so it'll be a surprise. But I don't think I do. I've still got to start booking those, and then also the candidates coming in, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of work to do, and I've just still got to do it. That's it. I hope you go out there and spread joy and sunshine wherever you go. And as always, thanks for watching Morning on the Mountain. I'll see you tomorrow.